What's up, boys? We got Kyle from SpedBets here bringing you guys another breakdown for the UFC 304 this weekend. We didn't do a breakdown last weekend. The card on paper was not good at all, and I didn't feel like breaking down Verna Jandiroba versus Amanda Lemos. Just not something I felt like doing. We took the week off. We still put in the bets in the Discord, and we cashed out huge. Made a lot of money, I think up 12 to 15 units, if I do my calculations correct there, counting all the DFS apps. And we're just hitting everything, man. Join up if you want to. If not, just enjoy the video. And yeah, let's get right into it. For these first few fights on the card, I didn't really have anything, because I like to keep these, at least try to make these a little interesting. There's nothing interesting you can say about any of these fights, alright? We got an OnlyFans model versus Shauna Bannon opening up the card. Shauna's terrible. Elise is also terrible. I see people saying that she fought Diana Belvita and Zhang Weili. I don't think that matters. She lost to both of them. The number one female fighter out of Romania. I think there's like 5 over there. Like, I don't know what that cherry pick stat is, but if anything in this fight, if you really need to bet this fight, which you don't, just take the dog, take Elise. But I would not recommend betting this thing. It probably goes the distance, maybe not. They're both terrible. Someone gets subbed up, I'm not too sure. Then we go to the polar opposite. We got two big boys. We got Mick Parkin versus Lucas Bresky. These guys are menaces if you're a McDonald's worker, all right? These guys are going to take everything you got and more. Mick Parkin's just a little bit better. He's not good, but he's a little bit better. He's been kind of unlucky. I don't know. I thought he might have lost against Walter Walker, but you can't really say. I think he did beat Martin Boudet, but then they gave Boudet the win. I've been saying since he debuted, Boudet is terrible. He fought the worst fighters, and he still barely beat them. So you got to go Mick Parkin. I mean, he's like a minus 270. You can't even play that. Maybe you want to parlay him. I think he's safe to parlay. He is better, but you never know. These two guys are also both terrible. Then we go up. We got Sam Patterson versus Kiefer Crosby. This is McGregor's boy. This guy would not be in the UFC if he was not Irish. That's a fact. I don't care. In his last fight, he tried to judo throw a judo black belt when he's a boxer, and then he got reverse thrown. And then when Giuseppe took his back, he just put his hands on the floor. Didn't even try to fight the hands one bit. Got choked out. For that reason, we're going Patterson by sub, probably the first round. I think Kiefer Crosby has negative ground game. I'd love to see this guy grapple MVP. I don't even know. I don't think anything would happen. I think they just sit there and fucking look at each other. These guys are terrible on the ground. Patterson got absolutely chinned, sent to the Shadow Realm in his debut in the UFC, but that's alright. He decided that lightweight wasn't the move when he's like 6'2", 6'3", whatever he is. So now we're up at welterweight. He looked pretty good in his last fight. Got a rear naked choke. Showed off the ground game. I think he gets it done again against Kiefer Crosby. Probably first round submission. Right here, here's where we start to get interesting. Alright, on the early prelims, we got Muhammad Mokaev versus Manel Kape. I saw these guys' teams fighting in the hotel lobby. I don't even know what's happening. If you're curious, that is a picture of Manel Kape on the right side of the screen. Just thought I'd put that out there, but Muhammad Mokaev, he's pretty good. I think I'm taking him in this fight because I don't think Manel Kape is going to be able to stop the pressure. With the exception of his last fight against Perez where he had staph and he was sick, Muhammad Mokaev doesn't generally get tired. Most of his wins come in the third round, so you know he has cardio if he's still fighting in the third round. People are just picking Manel Kape by knockout. To that, I'm going to ask you, who is Manel Kape knocked out? Like, we're looking at Ode Osborne and Zhalgas Samagulov. Like, really? You think he's going to take the O of Mokaev with that kind of resume by knockout? He went to war with Felipe Dos Santos. He tricked us into thinking that Felipe Dos Santos was good. That's how bad Manel Kape is. I'm not super high on Muhammad Mokaev. I'm going to fade him no matter who he fights in his next fight. I think he loses to everyone above Manel Kape, but you can't pick this guy, man. You can't pick Kape. He made Felipe Dos Santos look good. I'm never going to forgive him for that. Because Felipe got a robbery win in his next fight after. I had some serious money on him. I was sweating, all right? We got Oban Elliott versus Preston Parsons. There's one thing and one thing only that you can say about this fight right here. Fig lock victim, all right? This guy got chinned on the Cage Warrior scene by my boy Mike Figlock. Just hit him with the hook, hit him with the straight, dropped his ass on the ground, beat him up, got the TKO dub in the third round. For that reason, fading Oban. No, I'm just kidding. Preston Parsons, they're basically like the same exact fighter. This guy and Oban, Preston Parsons and Oban, sorry. They're the same exact fighter, just Preston Parsons is a little bit better. I don't think there's going to be a finish. Oban is trash on the feet. He's super hittable. If Preston Parsons wants to grapple with him, which I think he does, we're probably not going to see that get exposed. But if Oban does squeak out a decision win here, if he's going against a striker with decent takedown defense, you want to fade him. This guy's super hittable on the feet. He's trash guard. Figlak shots were getting through every single time. I'm going to keep referencing that fight even though it was forever ago because that's my boy. But yeah, so we're going to go with Parsons, probably by decision here. I could see a sub, but I'm not going to put my money on that. Then we got another stretch of 4 fights where I kind of got nothing. I have a little bit on the Callan Loughran fight, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm not breaking down a Modestas Bukauskas fight for you guys. Like, that's just not something that's happening, all right? I'm picking Pragnio because he kicks legs. Bukauskas struggles to defend legs. That's not even just because of the Khalil Roundtree stomp. I'm not picking him because of that. He just generally struggles to defend leg kicks, and I think Pragnio can get ahead on points and win a shitty decision. But then again, you want to go through these guys' past fights. We have the William Knight fight. If you guys been watching the UFC, you know what I'm referencing when I talk about the William Knight fight. This dude just stood there as a statue for 15 minutes, didn't throw anything, just stood there and took leg kicks. Absolute fucking Chad. And then we're going to go up to Molly McCann versus Bruna Brazil. Molly McCann should win this fight. She's super wide favorite, like a 4-1 favorite or something, 3-1, 4-1. If you're putting money on Molly McCann as a 4-1 favorite, I think you're just wrong. Especially given her weakness as grappler. She's going against a chick with the last name Brazil. I'm not picking Bruna Brazil. I think Molly McCann's going to knock her out in the second or third round, but you can't lay down the money on the money line. You should not be parlaying Molly McCann at that kind of price. That's just not right. Then we're going to go to Nathaniel Wood versus Daniel Pineda. Now, Pineda is very durable, little scrappy guy. He is like 39 though. That's the only concern here. I'm picking Wood by decision. Wood got out-savvied in his last fight. Nah, he got cheated. His gloves were getting grabbed. There's some ball kicks. Like, dude just got fucked up in Abu Dhabi. They didn't do anything about it. They robbed my boy. But I don't think he's going to get a finish. His last 5 or 6 fights have all gone to decision. If there was a fight where he was going to get a finish, it would be this one because Pineda's 39, like I said. I don't see it. He's pretty durable. And I'm also not going to do this fight in any bets because Nathaniel Wood's a 5-1 favorite. You can't do anything with that. There's a real chance Pineda just latches up a round 1 sub out of nowhere, revives his UFC career. I mean, I'm joking, he's not going to revive his career, but he could renew his contract, get some more money going. But, I mean, you can't do anything with the 5-1 favorite on Nathaniel Wood. But we take it over to the Callan Loughran and Jack Hadley fight, here. We got literally just Michael Chandler right here. 135 Michael Chandler on the left. Callan Loughran. And then we got just a dude that I want to punch and Jake Hadley on the right, all right? Now, the reason I'm picking Loughran is because he is going to have a serious strength advantage. He's actually going to be like 1 inch shorter than Hadley, even though Hadley's coming up a weight class from 125. But look at his arms. I don't think it's going to matter. He's just going to bully him in the clinch, get him to the ground. The same thing Nascimento did to him. He's just going to wrestle fuck him. Hadley's going to be throwing up go-go platas. He's going to be throwing up buggy chokes. It's not going to do anything. He's just going to get Russell fucked for 15 minutes. I could see maybe a late TKO, but again, don't put your money on that. I think the over 2.5 is pretty safe for this fight. I think Loughran is just going to wrestle his ass off, hold this guy on the fence, hold him on the mat, and that's going to be that. Here we go. We got Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. All right, now here's where I might make some people mad. All right, I'm picking Giga. I've been saying this for a while. I think Arnold Allen is super overrated. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. He is a good fighter, but people are putting this guy on the same level as the top echelon of featherweights just because he won 1 round against Max Holloway. The 5th round when Max was coached him because he knew he won. I mean, you can't take too much into that. And then people are saying he got robbed against Movsar. No, he didn't. He lost. That was very clear that he lost, in my opinion, at least. Is Movsar a bitch for exploiting the rules? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny that, but I mean, the rules are the rules. Arnold got fucked up. And I think in this fight, I think he's gonna try and strike. If you try and strike with Giga, I think you're fucked. I'm not gonna call Giga by knockout, but I mean with the southpaw stance of Arnold, that body kick is gonna be there for Giga. That's his staple. And if you get into just a point fighting, kickboxing range fight with Giga, you're gonna lose. But I think I think he should and can mix in the wrestling. I don't know how much success he's going to have. I've seen interviews, Giga's talking about he understands that Arnold's probably going to grapple with him. He's not delusional in thinking that he's going to get a kickboxing match here. But he's talking about knees up the middle, the front kick. He's talking about all this good defense. I have to believe that he's going to be ready for that attack. And we haven't seen anything out of Arnold Allen, at least in the UFC, to suggest that he's going to be able to just take Giga down, lay on him, and hold him there. I threw a little degenerate sprinkle on Arnold Allen by sub. It was like plus 800. I mean, for his way to win, he has to wrestle. And then Giga's obviously not very good on the ground. He's a striker at heart. That's what he's good at. That's where he wants to be. So his defense on the ground probably isn't the greatest. But again, Arnold Allen's just such a huge favorite. You're not going to do anything with minus 350, even if you think he can wrestle. So I had to go with the Giga money line here. And I just think that's pretty simple. Right, here we go. This fight got moved to the main card, kicked the little pipsqueaks back down to the early prelims. We got my boy Gregory Rodriguez here going against Christian Leroy Duncan. This is a pretty good fight. When I was doing tape study, I was watching both their fights against Armen Petrosian. And I just have to be honest, Leroy Duncan's performance against Petrosian was just pissing me off. He's doing so much extra shit that he doesn't have to do, like throwing these spinning kicks that are just out of range. He's just trying to be all flashy, trying to do all this, then he gassed himself out and he lost. I just got so mad watching that fight back. And then Gregory Rodriguez, you know this guy's game. Ever since he got knocked out, absolutely flatlined by Bruno Ferreira. He's mixed in the grappling a lot more. He has super high-level grappling. I've seen this guy training with Pereira, training with Glover. Super high level. He's black belt for sure. He took down Brad Tavares, which is impressive. I'm bringing that up for a reason. Brad Tavares is some of the best takedown defense in this division. Stuffed all 8 of Chris Weidman's takedowns. He was going to stuff the Iron Turtles takedowns. I know that for a fact. And he stuffed all of Dricus' takedowns. Brad Tavares has solid takedown defense, and Gregory Rodriguez got him down, mixed it up with the wrestling, and beat his ass, knocked him out late. For that reason, the grappling threat, I'm going to pick Gregory Rodriguez. I don't think CLD is going to be able to get his hands going with the fear of the takedown. I think in the first round, Gregory Rodriguez probably pushes him up against the cage. He makes the grappling threat known, and then I think he lights him up in the second round. We're going to go with the second round knockout for Gregory Rodriguez. And then there's not much you really need to say about this fight right here. Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes. Nothing but respect for Curtis Blaydes. He's a dog. He saved us from a Jailton Almeida title fight. I forever thank him for that. But Tom Aspinall's probably just going to turn his lights off in the first round. Blaydes pat the victory. Blast double Tom and hope that Tom doesn't know what he's doing. But I mean, he grew up, his dad's a BJJ instructor. I find it hard to believe that Curtis is going to be able to lay on this guy without being put in danger at least once. I think Aspinall can threaten submissions even if he gets put on his back. I think he can mix in the grappling if we want to. We've never really seen Curtis on his back. But I think if they just go strike for strike, like in the first fight, if you want to break down those 15 seconds, I think when Aspinall threw the first kick and it didn't land and he kind of swung and missed, he felt something in his knee. You see him step a little bit weird. He knew it was fucked right then, right there, and he just had to go for it. That's why he's throwing all that crazy shit, getting super aggressive, looked nothing like himself in that fight. He knew his knee was bad. Apparently, according to people that have trained with him that I'm seeing, he still has the bum knee. It's not gone. It's better, obviously. He can throw kicks. He's not, like, wobbling around or whatever. But it still is a problem for him. So that's a concern, I guess, if you think Blaydes is just going to start ripping low kicks out of nowhere. But I don't. I think Curtis Blaydes has shit fight IQ. I think Tom Aspinall is going to knock him out in the first round. Probably within the first 2 or 3 minutes. Alright, then we go to the main event here. We got Belal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards. I'm not going to do a super good breakdown for this right now. I have a whole other video coming. I made a little mini Belal edit. I'm picking Belal Muhammad. I'm going to make that known. You guys can clown that pick if you want to. I've done the research. I've done my homework. I have a lot of reasoning behind that pick. This isn't just an I hate Leon Edwards pick. I've done the research. I watched a lot of tape, a lot more tape than I feel like most people probably have for this fight. I'm just kind of calculating everything. And I made my pick. My pick is Bilal. That video is going to be dropping probably tomorrow. Actually, I lied. It's going to be dropping the same day as this one. Probably later in the day before the fight's on Friday. And yeah, cannot wait for you guys to see that video. Put a lot of work into it. I want to find one fight on every card where I just go super in depth in it and try and give like a really detailed breakdown, just to kind of help show what I'm looking at when I break down the tape, what I'm looking for, what I'm seeing, stuff like that. I feel like that might be something that people want. If not, oh well, I won't. But you know what? Doesn't matter. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bilal Muhammad and new.